Hi, I'm Todd Graves, co-founder of the Graves Golf Academy. There was no greater ball striker in the game of golf than Mo Norman. 14 years ago, when I met Mo, he told me he called his golf swing the feeling of greatness. Mo learned his golf swing through practice and repetition, and I thought after I met Mo, if I could just stand in his body one time and feel what he felt when he hit a golf ball. Well, thanks to Gary Broering and Perfection Golf Products, with his new product, now you can feel what Mo felt, starting from address all the way through his golf swing. Let me introduce you to Gary Broering and have him tell me, Gary, tell me why and how you developed this product.
After attending Todd's schools, I would go home and work on my practice, but I could never get myself back into the exact positions that you were showing me at school. So through trial and error, I practiced and worked and made marks on a board to show myself exactly where the club needed to be before I would hinge up.
So you just started with kind of markings on the garage floor or on the ground, or how did you start with that?
Yes, I started in my garage and I just put some ball marks on the floor, and then I would draw some lines that I could make myself take the club back to these certain positions, and from there I moved it on to a piece of plywood, and I just kept making marks until I could figure out exactly where I needed to be.
Right, and we just kind of worked, you know, I remember you bringing me some of the trial product of trying to get to the exact positions, and the goal really was to, through a golfer's perspective, to feel and stand and get the exact perception of Mo as you stood over the board, and that's kind of what we worked on eventually when you developed this product.
That's exactly right.
Great. Well, I'll tell you what, let's spend some time in the next section. I'm going to have you go ahead and assemble the product, and then we'll start training on it.
All right, thank you. It's really simple to put this together. The first thing we do is we remove the Velcro strap that holds the board together for easy carrying, and we lay that down. As you can see now, we have 3 pieces that are very easily removed from the board. They are also have positions for interlocking. It's just like a jigsaw puzzle, and it's very easy to put together. And I will show you now. And as we start, we'll just slide this piece out of the board, take the end, and it slides right into position. Now we'll take the second piece and remove it from the board. You can see how easy it slides in and out. Interlock it in position. We take the last piece, slide it, interlock it, and now we have completed our assembly of the Feeling Mo's Greatness training system, and we're ready to start training.
Gary, there's so much to this training board now. You've designed this around the Graves Golf Academy Feeling of Greatness Training Club. So the first part of this board really is, we're going to look at 2 sections of the board. We're going to look at the first section, which is the address position section. Then we're going to look at this back section. But the more we've discussed this, there's so much technology built into this part of the board. I mean, there's so much into the address position that we talked about. This is part of the stuff that you were talking about, where you had to really work at mastering Mo's address position. So walk me through the first part of this board and just this section right here.
Well, the first thing that happens with using the training club is that we have the correct width stance for our feet, and we have lines here, and this is the inside of our heel lines when we set up to the board. The second thing that happens is that we now are, from our toe line, we are now the correct distance to the ball.
So you have the left foot position,
yes,
the right foot position for your toe positions, and then when you set your feet next to the board, when you get the ball out in that A position, you're exactly the correct distance.
That is correct.
Right.
You're exactly the correct distance. And also, this line for your stance, the ball is in the correct position here in your stance line inside of your left foot. So each time you set up here, now you have your feet the correct width, your toes are the correct distance from the ball, and the ball is in the correct position between your heels. So we've accomplished 3 things here, and we have not moved the club yet. The fourth thing that happens here is that using the Mo's Feeling of Greatness training club is that you put your hands on the club exactly the same every time. So now you've done 4 things correct. The next thing that happens is Mo had a starting position of where he's placed his club. And he placed his club at this C position right here. So each time you set up, you now have the correct place to put your club head. The other...
Okay, well let's do this. Set me up into this board now. And I'm going to go ahead and set up in here. And what I want you to do is we're going to put exact positions, and I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing here, because there's a bunch of other lines in this board too that tell me a lot more, but they're more of a golfer's perspective.
That is
they're
correct.
more of mine. If I'm sitting up at the board, I'm going to see certain things. The camera, the audience won't be able to see this, but
That is
I will.
correct.
Okay, so
is
let me
correct.
just set up here.